Have you ever been so absorbed in something that time seems to just stand still? This is the concept known as flow state, a phenomenon where you're so immersed in an activity that it leads to a sense of fulfillment unlike any other. And in gaming, that sensation is what many developers strive for. In a series like Sonic, which prides itself on mastery of level design and mechanics, this is especially important, as not being immersed in the gameplay loop can make or break the entire experience. For me, however, one game in this series has consistently stood above the rest in this regard, consistently offering me a new way to play it through its phenomenal mechanics and level design, and that game is Sonic Heroes. Unfortunately, not many people in the community seem to share my appreciation for this title, with many deeming it mediocre or even bad.
Squidward!
And while I can't say this with certainty, I have a feeling that most approach it the wrong way, treating it like any other Sonic game instead of learning the mechanics and working with them to create a satisfying experience. And so today, I'll dive deeper into the mechanics of Sonic Heroes, explaining why they're still unrivaled in this franchise and why the game sits on the top of my Sonic tier list. With all that out of the way, let's get into things. Sonic Heroes, in a radical change of pace, decided to adopt a completely unique gameplay formula from Adventure 1 and 2. Instead of controlling one character at a time, you instead take control of 3 simultaneously, with each character in the team falling into one of 3 types: speed, power, or flight. Speed characters are the fastest characters in the game, go figure, and they can perform various moves unique to them, such as the light speed dash, homing attack, triangle jump, and tornado attack. Flight characters are the slowest characters in the game by far, but make up for it with the ability to fly and the thundershoot technique, which can take care of threats from a distance. Finally, power characters are somewhere in between a flight and speed formation in terms of speed, but pack the most firepower by a long shot and have the ability to take advantage of conveniently placed fans across the level to gain height. Throughout the game, you switch between all 3 characters to overcome various challenges, with the game holding your hand less and less as the adventure goes on. Whereas the first stage contains tons of gates to automatically switch characters for you, the last one expects the player to be accustomed to the mechanics of the game. In addition to that, characters have a level up system, which impacts the strength of certain moves and enhances certain techniques. For example, the speed character's homing attack changes quite a bit as you level up. At level 1, it does a single point of damage to enemies. At level 2, it does 2 hit points of damage, and at level 3, it pretty much kills everything in one hit. Flight characters have a similar thing with thundershoot, where leveling up increases the destructive capability of the move, and power characters just blow everything up at higher levels. All the info I've just laid out is what the game teaches you as you play, through the in-game tutorial and the various bits of dialogue and levels. However, that tutorial is complete dog shit. Here's how the game really works. Do you remember trying to solve a puzzle as a kid and trying to force pieces into wrong positions just for the sake of feeling some sort of accomplishment, only to be laughed at because the end result looked like total shit and breaking down in tears because your dumbass thought you could solve the puzzle your own way? That is 90% of the gameplay I see of Sonic Heroes. People who want to play the game by their own rules and get upset when it doesn't work. And in all honesty, I can't blame them too much. The game's skill floor is one of the highest in the series, with a ton of mechanics to it, and Heroes doesn't exactly convey how you're meant to approach it well to an average player, which is especially egregious given how different this experience is to anything before or after it. Brute forcing your way through this game will end in nothing but misery. But if this doesn't play out like your typical Sonic platformer, then what is the correct way to approach the game? Well, like I implied earlier, it's a puzzle game, a fast-paced one at that. Throughout your adventure, there will be a number of occasions where you have to make a choice on which formation is best to deal with the challenge up ahead, and each formation has hidden properties that can help with that choice. For instance, the game teaches you about the fire dunk technique you can use on power types. What they don't tell you is that by jumping while your teammates are on your fists, or by pressing the attack button while airborne, your teammates will spin around you, destroying terrain meant for the power types. Another example of this is the tornado, which the game teaches you how to use in Ocean Palace. It can disable enemy shields, expose their weak points, and can be used to traverse up poles and other stage gimmicks. However, many people don't know that a level 3 Sonic can achieve the same effect of a homing attack, essentially making him the best option for certain enemy types. I could cite many more examples, but in short, each formation has a means of bypassing a challenge through various moves, and as you level up each formation, you gain the ability to change the rules of said challenge in a way that best suits your preferred gameplay style. Wanna go fast? Simply level up your speed character and blast through the level like the Sonic character you are. What if things are going too fast? Game's got you covered there too. Just switch to the flight and power types for more control. No matter what your comfort zone is, Sonic Heroes delivers. Much like the general gameplay formula, Heroes made massive changes to the combat. In prior games, enemies were little more than speed bumps, minor annoyances that could be taken out in one hit. In Heroes, however, they give more prominence to the combat system, as every enemy now has a health bar. And just like I said before, brute forcing your way through the intricacies of the combat system is likely going to end in rage and broken controllers. Making combat flow effectively all hinges on your understanding of Heroes mechanics, and quickly identifying which formation will have an easier time dealing with the foe in front of you. For example, the flight formation is the best when it comes to dealing with aerial threats, but only if you're level 2 or above. At levels below that, they serve as an excellent means of grounding them for the power/speed formations to finish off. However, a level 2/3 speed character could get the job done quicker and use the height gain from the homing attack to potentially complete a platforming challenge in an unintended way. But sometimes, even understanding the game won't make fighting a horde of annoying enemies much easier. Thankfully, the game provides a solution for that with Team Blast. Through killing enemies, collecting rings, or performing any action when I think of it, your Team Blast meter will slowly build up. When it's full, pressing the appropriate button causes a screen nuke that kills every enemy in the level and has cooldown effects, which vary depending on the team you're using. With this at your disposal, you can effectively one-shot the most annoying enemies in the game, making your kit more than adequate for the challenges you face. Once you come to terms with the system and understand what each character can and can't do, there's a real flow to a combat that's satisfying in such a unique way, as you make micro decisions on the fly to take care of enemies as quickly as possible. It's the main reason those enemy spam bosses are so enjoyable to me, as they thrive on and reward being skilled with the combat with higher ranks. Lastly, the game is split into 4 separate campaigns, so I figured I might as well give my opinion on all 4 to close off this video. Team Sonic focuses on providing a neutral difficulty, and feels like the one campaign others were designed off of. It's got the perfect level length, enemy difficulty, and amount of set pieces for me, which makes it my favourite to go through. Team Dark is just a slightly harder version of Team Sonic with more annoying enemy types and slightly different level designs that challenge the player more. The story is easily the most interesting of the 4 campaigns, and I still love the level design for the most part, but Team Sonic just flows better for me, you know? Team Rose, predictably, are the easy mode of the game, making it my least favourite to go through. While still enjoyable, levels feel like they end before they get a chance to start. Ideal for beginners, but kinda lackluster for a veteran like me. Team Chaotix easily has the most relatable story to me, as instead of seeking answers or saving the world, they're in it to pay the rent. As a result though, this is essentially the mission mode of the game, as you must perform various tasks for the client. Most of the time, you're finding certain items, killing enemies, or clearing the level with a condition attached. While many dislike this, I can appreciate the variety this playthrough brings due to my years of experience, although some missions do indeed suck. If you're at all interested in playing this game, I'd recommend starting off with Team Sonic. While they may be harder than Team Rose, I feel they control better in general and also provide the most satisfaction of what's a full playthrough once you understand the game's mechanics. Sonic Heroes is a game that, in my opinion, is almost perfect. The control can work against you at times, jank can throw A-rank runs into the bin, and there's 2 or 3 levels in the game I don't like. But the incredibly addicting gameplay loop and rich mechanics make up for almost all its downfalls. This is a game I can play at any time without getting bored due to the reasons I listed above, and I hope this video helps more people realize its inner beauty. As always, if you like this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, as it really helps the channel out. And with that said, I'll see you next time.